what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, this is actually a take two show, but I'm going to summarise what we have already spoken about in the last show, so hopefully we can keep this concise and on one stream, providing I can keep it running for that long. So, we have had a situation back in December where Anthony Riley and GeoStreamer had a one-to-one conversation about angular resolution of stars, and based on a conversation much more recently with Jimmy about the assumption that Venus has the same radius as the presupposed spherical radius of Earth, Anthony went back to the hangout with GeoStreamer from back in December to have another listen to what was said. Now, when he was examining it, he noticed an anomaly, which was to say that there was gaps in the conversation. So Anthony went into those gaps, boosted the volume of those gaps so he could hear what was being said. And what he could hear was GeoStreamer being fed by Soundly. So Anthony confronted GeoStreamer about this, and in essence GeoStreamer said that this wasn't the case, and asserted that what had actually happened was that Anthony's mic had been left open, and it was a hangout between Shawn Hufford and Soundly that Anthony had been playing in the background. Now, bearing in mind that the audio level was minus 40 dB or less than minus 40 dB, so we would assert that it wouldn't be possible for the Google Hangout to actually cut the microphone across to Anthony at such a low level. So we are pretty certain that this is absolutely what it looks like, a contemporaneous conversation between GeoStreamer and Soundly, with Soundly feeding GeoStreamer the information absolutely relevant to the topic of conversation in hand. So having been presented with this, as I say, they have asserted that it's actually Anthony's mic that's been left open, and they've done this by colluding with Shawn Hufford. So Soundly and GeoStreamer have got together with Shawn Hufford, the audio guy, who has basically gone through the hangout and given his analysis based on what he thinks is actually going on. Anthony has then challenged him to go and actually find the information, i.e. the hangout between Soundly and Shawn Hufford, so that they can give us exactly the quoted text that was said to GeoStreamer, blatantly obvious. Anyway, the whole point of this is that they've, in essence, not only lied, and I'm sure Anthony will back this up in a minute, that's not the biggest crime in the world, but ultimately they've doubled down on their lie. And if you were to go to their hangouts or to their shows and comment sections right now and ask them about the conversation that GeoStreamer was having with Soundly, they would barefaced lie to you to this day. So Anthony has then been given a challenge because it is apparently, according to Shawn Hufford, incredibly difficult to actually track down this quote from Soundly because of all the millions of hangouts that they've got, probably about 20. So with that, I'm going to pass over to Anthony, who's going to give you a bit of an update on where we're at the moment and why he's been doing what he's been doing, and hopefully summarise again precisely what's happened to date. So let's say a quick hello to you, Anthony. My apologies for the technical difficulties on the last stream.
Yo.
Hello.
Right, so basically where we're at, I had a conversation with Shawn on Hangouts yesterday, because since they got rid of Messenger, it means that I don't have Shawn on. I've no way of getting in touch with Shawn other than through Google Hangouts, because I've had a conversation with him at some point in the past. And basically I said to him, where's my clip? Where is the clip that you guys claim that I played through my microphone? And he basically said that it's really tedious having to look back through all these hangouts. And he's challenged me to go and find something that was randomly said in one particular hangout at some point by Nathan randomly. And I said, is it on Nathan's channel? Come on, you're going to have to give me the same information that Soundly's got. And it was before a certain date of what was said. And I said, right, I'll go and find it. But the problem is Shawn's not exactly the most reliable person to quote things verbatim. So when he gives a citation, you can bet your bottom dollar it's not accurate. But if I'm looking for a citation of something that was actually said in a hangout, it's got to be accurate, because I need to be able to know that the thing even exists. So I said to Shawn, I said, tell you what, I'll take you up on your offer. I'll show you that it's not that hard to find a citation, but you're going to have to prove that the citation exists. I want to either see and hear it, or just at least hear it. I want to hear that it actually exists, because I don't trust your citation. So what I'm going to do to start with, I'm going to play the clip in question, the GeoStreamer clip. So if I knock my camera off and I screen share with sounds my display, you guys should now see, when Nathan flicks it over, my desktop. Yep. So this is the actual clip in question. And what you're looking for the bits that are risen. These are the parts that have applied the sound to, the amplification to. Now, what you're listening for isn't the change in sound. You're listening to the flow of the conversation. You hear GeoStreamer specifically ask, where is it? Is it down here, right? Or something like that. And then Soundly says, yeah, and go back to that definition he cites too. So Geo asks a question, Soundly responds in the positive, and then tells him what to do next. That's what you're listening for.
And please go back. Wait, let me check it. Where was it? Further down, right?
Yeah, go back to that definition he cites to Shawn.
Small angle formula. What?
You can't differentiate size.
Small angle.
So that's the clip in question. In itself, it's not that big of a deal. We've known for ages that they were all feeding each other, and it wasn't a fair one-to-one, which is the reason why these so-called neutral hangouts are not actually neutral, because they all do it. They all have this thing in the background where they all speak with each other. And we've known that they've done it for ages. Red's Rhetoric's prone for doing it. He has 5 or 6 minions in the background, but we've never really had the evidence to prove it, but now we have. GeoStream has been caught red-handed. So we've made the assertion, we've provided the evidence, and audio guy, Shawn Hufford, has gone back and he's challenged and basically gave his interpretation of what he thinks is going on, or at least what he tells people he thinks is going on. Now, I don't believe Shawn's told the truth here. I believe that Shawn, GeoStreamer, and Soundly have all colluded together and said, look, we need to muddy the waters here because he's caught me with this Soundly evidence in the background. So Shawn's actually gone over this as claiming to be this audio guy, and he's tried to make out that it's really something else, and it's complete and utter horseshit. It's not true. So here is the said. Let me just reposition myself. Here is the conversation I had with Shawn, and basically I said to him, "This is like yesterday." Where is it? I'm just trying to find where it transitions. 20th. There we go. Wednesday the 9th of the 7th. Well, today. No, that's not Wednesday the 9th. Hang on, it's more recent than that. So what today? It's Thursday, isn't it? Today, Nath. Is that right?
Yeah, 30th.
Yeah, Thursday the 30th. So on Wednesday, I asked him. Trying to find where the beginning is now. Right, here we go. Why is my computer now not being... Right, here we go. Wednesday. Give me a date. Where the hell is it? Right, here we go. So, 20th of June, which is 10 days ago. If you fail to find a source... funny that, seeing as though I have to go through literally hundreds of hours of Hangouts to find the one time that Soundly has used those exact words, and you thinking I'm spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week watching old Hangouts, in reality it's one a day, and you are arbitrarily assigning a time limit, I openly invite you all to keep that claim going. Well, that's exactly what we are doing. We're keeping it going. All the more embarrassment for you when I have found it. You have all your minions doing it. It shouldn't be that hard if you have all the help you need. The request is out there. I have no clue who is looking or how many. All I can say with 100% certainty is that I am personally watching 1 4 or 5 hour hangout per day. But this is the key point. And if you are unsuccessful, will you admit that Geo was being fed and that they both, at the very least, got you to find an angle and you tried? In the alternative, you three are all guilty as fuck. Will you admit it? If you don't find it, they were lying, at least to us lot, if not himself. If you won't admit it, there's no point in looking, right? Now, he goes on and basically says that you're asking me to admit something without the evidence, blah, 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 blah. But then it comes down to this message. He says, where is it?
They passed it low down. It's the one with the link. Keep going.
No, it's before that. Come on. There we go. Where the hell is it? I'm looking for the word tedious in the final paragraph. Bear with me while I find it. Here we go. To give an example of how tedious it is, this is him finding it. Nathan once said, quote, "There are no assumptions in science. Your independent variable is your assumed cause, and there aren't any assumptions. Get me the link and a timestamp for that one." So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that.
Hold on. So just read it once more and in that message, because you've obviously looked for it now. So to give us an example of how tedious it is, Nathan once said, quote, "There are no assumptions in science. Your independent variable is your assumed cause. There aren't any assumptions." End quote.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste it into there so that we can keep a citation, a reference of it, because that's what he says that Nathan's claimed. That's what he says that Nathan has spoken a hangout, and he wants me to go and find it randomly in any of the hangouts in all of time without telling me anything about it, right? But bear in mind that Soundly knows that this was said before December or whatever. So that's what he's quoting is Nathan's actually said. So I've thought about it and I thought, right, practically that's a nightmare because we're on to like hangout 440 something now. That could be any hangout. It could be 106. It could be 304. It could be 212. I mean, each hangout's 2 hours or 2 times 1 hour. But that's a lot of work to try and do. So I said to him, I said, you're going to have to give me a date because you've got the date before. So narrow it down a little bit so that I'm on the same page. And to be fair, he does do. But I thought about it and I thought, Shawn's not the most reliable or accurate citer. And bear in mind, look at he's put it in quotation marks, right? That means it's verbatim. That's what he's citing is word for word verbatim because he's used speech marks, quote marks, quotation marks. So this is supposed to be verbatim. Now, if I'd have gone and checked every single hangout, it would have took me weeks to find this. So I thought, before I even think about looking for this, I want to validate this claim, this assertion that he makes that I'm supposed to be looking for. I want to validate it because I don't trust him. So, I'm looking for my response. Bear with me. Have I gone past it, Nate?
Don't know. It's very slick.
The link.
Very slick.
Yeah, I've gone past it. So hang on a sec. I'm looking for the hyperlink. Right, it must be here. Right, so give me a date. You haven't answered my question. You're demanding at home. Not asking him to concede. It's conditional. Here we go. Right. So I said to him, so on Wednesday, this is yesterday evening before bed, I said to him, I'm going to call you on that citation that you asked me about, which is this one in blue. I don't think you've cited him accurately. Again, please provide the sound clip with or without visuals so I can hear it myself. Your ability of quoting people is not exactly reliable, so I need to know that the quote actually exists. So then he sends me this. He says, here you go, part of the audio where he contradicts himself, da-di-da-di-da. So he clicks the link, right? So here's the link. So if I now click this is going to open up somewhere. Where is it opened? Here we go. So this is the actual clip, right? So what we're listening for is, bear in mind he's put it in quotation marks, we're listening for a match. Does what we hear now match what is on screen?
That is the scientific method, idiot. You have an assumed cause, not an assumption. An assumed cause.
Right, now that's not what's on screen, is it? So what we'll have to do is we'll have to put it on screen so we know what we're working with, and we're going to see how accurate it is. Bearing in mind he's put it in speech marks, so let's try it again.
That is the scientific method, idiot.
So we've got that is the scientific method, idiot. So that's a bad start. That is the... That is the scientific method, idiot.
You have an assumed cause.
You have an assumed cause.
Not an assumption.
Not an assumption.
An assumed cause. That is the scientific...
An assumed cause. So, are these two sentences that he's quoted verbatim the same? Clearly not. He's put, there are no assumptions in science. That doesn't appear in the actual citation that I'm looking for. So isn't it a good job that I didn't go and spend weeks and weeks and weeks looking for what he claimed was a verbatim citation from Nathan in a random hangout, randomly anywhere in the 440 plus hangouts that we've done to date? I wouldn't have found that, would I? Because he's quoted it verbatim and it's not there. So what he's actually given me is similar, but it isn't the same.
Cause, not caused. Just correct that, just because it is important. At the bottom, last word, cause. That's it. Sorry.
And I'll just correct that as well. So basically, the inaccuracies in this citation that is in speech marks is vast. So the opening line, "There are no assumptions in science," doesn't exist. That is the scientific method. Why is that inaccurate, Shawn? And why would you cite this as verbatim when you've put it in quotation marks? If I'd have gone and spent weeks and weeks and weeks looking back over all the hangouts, looking for this one phrase, and it was wrong, was that intentional, Shawn? Or is it just that you're an idiot and you can't cite people accurately? Either way, it's pretty bad for you, because you're the one that claims to be the specialist in research. You can't quote people. I've said it to you numerous times before. You are inaccurate at citing people. You do it all the time, and it's terrible, Shawn.
And
So
the
that's
reason
the
he does
first
it,
point.
the reason he does it is so he can misrepresent people. So what he's claimed in your little back and forth is that I've contradicted myself, right? Because it says in his quote, which isn't a quote, that there aren't any assumptions. Well, that's not what I said. So he's essentially saying, look, he contradicts himself. No, your misquote that means nothing. That's nonsense. Just misrepresenting people. The whole point of this is that the people that the person that Geo Schreiber and Soundly have gone to back him up, audio guy, is a lying sack of shit.
Yeah, but it gets better. Bear in mind, I'm supposed to be finding this, right, in all of the hangouts. And I said to him, you're going to have to give me a date when it goes back from, because that's what you've got with Soundly. And he gave me a date, and it saved me about 20 hangouts. I think it was up to about hangout 420-ish. And I thought, gee, that's really narrowing it down. But nonetheless, I thought, I'll find that. So here we go. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this information, which is verbatim from this citation that he didn't give me, that he provided me a copy of. I'm going to copy that, minimize that, pull this out of the way because I don't need it now. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to open up my other file, which is, where's that gone?
Oh no, here we go.
Where is it? There it is. Right, so I'm going to open up a text box, add text, and I'm going to put it on screen for everyone to see. And let's bring it down in size a little bit. And I'm just going to leave it over the screen so it can be seen by everybody, because it is important, this. I'm going to leave it on screen so that it's an aid memoir for us all to see. So let's, I'll have to format it a little bit.
Just while you're doing that, I'm going to say it one more time. What's happening, just to summarise, is Shawn has expressed how difficult it would be to find this contemporaneous conversation that is blatantly between Soundly and Geo Schreiber, with Geo Schreiber being coached by Soundly. Now, their assertion being that it's a hangout that has been played through Anthony's microphone, and his assertion, Shawn Hufford's, is that it's incredibly difficult to find a quote. Well, yeah, that would be far easier if you quoted people correctly. Don't use quotation marks ever again, Shawn Hufford. Ever.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what they are or what they mean. So all I'm doing is just emphasizing the actual citation that I'm supposed to be finding, because it's important. I mean, I can do this, and I thought, right, let's see if we can get this to work. Right, so there's the citation. That is the scientific method, idiot. You have an assumed cause, not an assumption, an assumed cause. So I went back looking over them. I had some help, I'll be honest. We managed to work it out. So here we go. We have this particular hangout, which is hangout number, I can't remember which one it is now. Oh, which one is it, Nate? Anyway, here's the hangout.
It might be 326.
Here's the hangout. Here is the segment in question.
Just double check. Sorry, I just want it to be on this hangout. So just pop back to YouTube, check your history, just get the number right. Or do it after. Either way.
Hang on, let me check in my history.
Okay. Just so anybody comes along and says, I don't know which hangout it is, I want to double check.
326, I believe it is.
There you go.
326 at this timestamp. in here. So when I zoom right in, it's going to be like 35 minutes, somewhere around 35 minutes. So what I've done is I've put 2 splice marks in here to identify the actual section that I'm looking for. There it is. So it's between 35 minutes and 3 seconds to 35 minutes and 11 seconds. So the citation that he provided in the recorded Hangout words were this.
That is the scientific method, idiot. You have an assumed cause, not an assumption. An assumed cause.
So that's the bit I found. Now, if we go back to his file that he sent me, which is this.
That is the scientific method, idiot. You have an assumed cause, not an assumption. An assumed cause.
So that's what he gave me to find. And now that I've found it, this would be here.
Is the scientific method, idiot. You have an assumed cause, not an assumption. An assumed cause.
That is how hypotheses work.
Yes.
So there we have it, Shawn. Your request has been satisfied. You asked me to find it in a Hangout randomly. You saved me looking through 20 of them. Thanks for that. Now, ultimately, we're on 400 and something. 2 Hangouts a day of an hour long. That's an awful lot of work to do. And I found it in less than 1 day. Less than 1 day, right? So where's my Hangout? Where's the citation that you claimed that I had playing through my microphone of GeoStreamer that just so happens to sound like a conversation with Soundly? Where's that citation? I found it in less than a day, right? How have I managed to do that? Who cares? I found it. Why can't you do it? I want that citation, Shawn. Otherwise, you can concede that GeoStreamer lied, Soundly lied. They were both having a hangout and a conversation. That you doubled down on the lie with them and tried to muddy the waters with evidence that doesn't exist, otherwise known as a unicorn. And you basically tried to muddy the waters to try and pass it back to me to make it look like GeoStreamer was innocent of all charges. Well, without evidence to prove his innocence, Shawn, you've got to admit that you guys were lying. You guys have doubled down on a lie, muddied the waters to try and create it to make it look like it was plausible deniability. No, you've given me a citation to go and find. I've done it. There it is. I want to see that clip. Where's the clip of Soundly and Shawn and Geo and whatever's going on in that Hangout? Let's hear it. You gave me a test to do. I've done it. Let's hear yours. Otherwise, admit that Geo lied, admit that Soundly lied, and admit that you tried to cover it up. You're all dishonest. Every single one of you.
Yeah, they're all lying. I mean, in essence, we've definitely got a recording of GeoStreamer talking to Soundly, and then the efforts they have gone to cover their tracks that they're basically feeding each other in these so-called neutral hangouts one-to-one. They're not one-to-one. They've got people like Soundly in the background feeding them. We know this for a fact. We've got a recording of it. But they've lied through their back teeth over and over and over again to try and cover it up. And that's the main point. The fact that not only have they tried to cover it up, they've then set Anthony tasks. So essentially, he's given Anthony about 90 hangouts to go through.
No,
right?
300.
No. He said it was somewhere between... You actually found it at 326, and he said it was somewhere between 436 or whatever he gave as the number to look from, and 2.
No, I'll read what his words said. His words said, I'll have to find it, but he only knocked off 20 by his narrowing it down. It didn't make any difference.
So if we're on 444, so let's say he said 424. So in essence, he's given you, about 85, 90 hangouts. My maths at 11 o'clock at night isn't great. But either way, a considerable amount, maybe 90 to 100 hours to go through. Within 1 day, Anthony's managed to find it. Even with him giving a completely incorrect quote. Completely incorrect. Like he would never ever find that because those words didn't cross my lips that Shawn put in quotation marks. Because he's a liar. He's a liar because he's put quotation marks around it. It's not words that I've said. And he's telling people like Anthony that I've basically contradicted myself. No, your quotation is wrong. You are a liar. And you are conspiring with GeoStreamer and Soundly to cover their lie. That you all coach each other in the background when you're having these discussions with us. Because you're all morons. You all need as much help as you can get. Because you're all screwed. We have the winning arguments. You have the losing arguments. And the only thing you can do to combat that, when you should be in the winning position, You have the standard rhetoric that everybody believes. You should be winning every one of these arguments. You shouldn't need Soundly in GeoStreber's ear helping him work his way around Anthony. It's just not necessary. Now, if it was just that and they admitted to it, yeah, I had Soundly in my ear. That wouldn't be such a big deal. But 2 weeks of lying about it? Trying to sweep it under the rug? Accusing Anthony of playing a hangout in the background? Literally lies about Anthony and what Anthony's done from a so-called sound guy that doesn't realise that anything below -40 won't go to the other person when you're in a Google Hangout. Just lies on top of lies on top of lies. And these, for all you ball heads out there, all you globe heads that are in the chat, Shawn Hawkins, why are you attacking me? You're associated with these arseholes, these liars. Why do you need liars defending the globe? Why?
So let me just address what he said. This is like last night or this morning, it might have been, within the last 24 hours.
Oh, have I lost you, Anthony? Well, that might be my opportunity to round out. I think we've pretty much got everything covered. I'll give Anthony another 30 seconds to see if he does return to this call. Hello.
No way.
Sorry, it's all good. We're still broadcasting. We just lost the Skype call.
Skype's so bad at the moment.
It
man.
is
It's
terrible.
unreal.
It's okay. We're still broadcasting. The other one that got completely cut off halfway through when I'd done the intro is, we're still running. That's all that matters. So,
All right, so let me go back to where I was. Share screens and sounds. Right, so I'll read. This is like yesterday. This is like in the last day, or like no more than 2 days. This is like within 24 hours. Here you go, part of the audio where he contradicts himself in the same breath. Bear in mind, I've asked him because I don't trust him. I'm going to call you on that citation you asked me about. I don't think you've cited him correctly again. Please provide the sound clip with or without visuals so I can hear it myself. Your ability of quoting people isn't exactly reliable, so I need to know that the quote actually exists. And then he said, here you go, part of the audio where he contradicts himself in the same breath. As far as the timeline to start from, the last show I watched of Nathan's was episode 424. What episode are we on now?
445.
So he's not 25. He's not 24, 34, 44. So he's not 21 hangouts off the total of 445 hangouts. Wow, but that's still an awful lot to find. So he's only not 20 hangouts off, Nathan, of 444. So it's still 400 plus hangouts, and it's random. It could be anywhere. Nathan randomly said at some point these words. And what do you know? They weren't them words. Nathan didn't say them words. His words were wrong. So not only has Shawn incorrectly quoted somebody again, when he's presented the evidence, it can be demonstrated that he's not correctly cited him like straight away. And then I found it within 24 hours. So I want to know where my quotation is, Shawn. Where's the hangout that you guys are adamant that was playing through my speakers? How many hangouts do you guys have? Do you have 400? How many has Soundly been in? I bet you it's less than 20. Sure, they might be 4 hours long, but most of your hangouts are dealt with in 30 minutes. The rest of it's just attacking flat earthers. Very little quality or content in it whatsoever. So again, Shawn, where's my point? Where's my citation that you guys need to show that Soundly and GeoStreber were not doing what we're saying that they were? I mean, let's be honest, we've known they've been doing it for ages. You all do it. But where's the evidence that shows that GeoStreber was not a lying sack of shit, that Soundly's not a lying sack of shit? Where is that evidence, please? It took me less than 1 day to find it. We're waiting.
Yeah, they won't find it because they are lying. You haven't had a hangout of Shawn, Hufford and Soundly playing in the background through your mic, cut coincidentally at -40 dB. That doesn't happen. So it's all lies. Now, if Shawn doesn't know this, that it wouldn't cut the sound at such a low level, then he's not a sound guy. You know, his declaration that he's a sound guy. No, I think the words you were actually looking for were retard, not sound guy. because you don't know anything about sound. You only know about lies. So you can't quote me correctly because you're a liar. You put words I've not said in quotation marks because you're a liar, Shawn. There's no two ways about this. You're a liar helping liars. That would be GeoStreamer, another retard who needs assistance and help from Soundly just to have a conversation with somebody. What an idiot. And this is humiliating. For anybody who thinks it's a ball and keeps up to date with the Flat Earth debate, this is what we are dealing with. Complete and utter retardation from ballers. So basically, that's what you've got to defend yourself. You've got Soundly, GeoStreamer and Shawn Hufford all absolutely complicit in complete and utter lies. And I think with that, I'm going to actually round out this. So I'm going to say, first and foremost, a massive thank you to Anthony, who we've just dropped from the call, so he's not going to say a reply, unfortunately, but also a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and sharing this. Be sure to share it with Shawn, be sure to share it with GeoStreamer, and of course, be sure to share it with the biggest liar of them all, Soundly. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!